There are moments in life when something happens that you simply cannot ignore, moments that follow you, whisper to you, and refuse to fade, even when everything around you tries to drown them out. What I'm about to share with you isn't just a story. It isn't a dream you wake up from and forget by lunchtime. The second event felt like a test of leadership everywhere, exposing who stands for truth and who hides behind power, showing that November 2025 would separate genuine voices from those who speak only to be heard. The third event showed a rise in personal struggles, not because the world is collapsing, but because people have ignored their inner calling for too long. And the dream highlighted how unresolved wounds begin to surface when times get uncertain. The fourth event carried an unexpected tone of hope, like a light breaking through the clouds, signaling that not all coming changes are negative. Some are openings, opportunities for renewal, moments where people rediscover faith, courage, and purpose. Each of the four events felt connected like chapters of a larger message, emphasizing that what's coming is not random, but part of a deeper spiritual rhythm. The dream made it clear that awareness is protection and preparation is strength, and that these warnings are invitations for people to pay attention to what truly matters before these moments arrive, shaping the world in ways they cannot ignore. The third keynote centers on the call to self-reflection, the part of the dream that shifted the focus from world events to the inner world of the heart. It wasn't just about what might happen in November 2025. It was about who we are becoming as people long before those moments arrive. In the dream, there was a sense that the world's condition is simply a mirror of individual choices, habits, and beliefs. Instead of pointing fingers outward, the message pressed inward, asking what each person is carrying within themselves. Fear, pride, bitterness, or the strength to rise above these things. It felt like a gentle confrontation, the kind that doesn't shame but awakens, making you realize how often we rush through life without checking the direction of our spirit. The dream highlighted that the greatest danger isn't what happens around us, but what slowly grows inside us when we ignore our own soul. It showed how people have become disconnected from their purpose, lost in noise, distracted by fear, and driven by the pressure to appear strong rather than actually becoming strong. It reminded that real change begins not with correcting the world, but with correcting ourselves, one choice at a time. In the dream, self-reflection wasn't about perfection, it was about honesty, the kind that makes you admit where you've drifted and where you need to return. It pointed out that every major shift in life, good or bad, hits harder when the inside is unprepared, and every prophecy becomes clearer when the heart is steady. The message made it clear that preparation isn't about stocking up or escaping reality. It's about examining the spirit, aligning with purpose, and removing the weight that keeps you from rising when the world begins to shake. The fourth keynote explores the unexpected connection to Clint Eastwood, a link that didn't appear in the dream itself, but emerged afterward, almost like a confirmation that truth can echo through unexpected voices. It wasn't about celebrity or fame. It was about wisdom that aligns with spiritual messages, even when it comes from places you wouldn't expect. After waking from the dream, the mind kept replaying certain parts, especially the seriousness and clarity in the message. Later, hearing Clint Eastwood speak on courage, responsibility, and the state of the world created an instant recognition, as if his words were touching the same chord the dream had struck. His tone carried the weight of experience, a sharp understanding of how people drift when they stop paying attention, and how the world changes when individuals fail to stand for something meaningful. That alignment felt too precise to ignore. It was as though the dream delivered the message on a spiritual level, and Clint's words delivered the same warning on a human level, bridging heaven's insight with real-world experience. His reflections on discipline, moral strength, and the cost of silence made the dream feel less like a private moment and more like a larger call being repeated through different voices. It created a sense that the message wasn't meant to stay isolated in the spiritual realm. It needed grounding, interpretation, and real-life application. Hearing someone known for toughness speak truths that matched the softness yet seriousness of the dream created a balance. reminding that warnings come in many forms: visions, intuition, and sometimes through the wisdom of people who have seen enough of life to recognize danger before others do. The connection served as a reminder that confirmation often comes from unexpected places, and truth has a way of repeating itself until it's finally heard. The fifth keynote centers on the idea of courage in uncertain times, a theme that rises naturally when the world feels like it's shifting and the future carries more questions than answers. The dream didn't highlight fear. It highlighted how people respond to fear, and that distinction changes everything. In moments when life becomes unpredictable, most people freeze, hesitate, or allow doubt to take over, not because they are weak, but because they forget the strength that already lives inside them. The message carried a quiet reminder that courage is rarely loud or dramatic. It's built in small decisions made long before the challenge arrives. It's in choosing to keep moving when the path gets foggy, choosing to stay grounded when emotions start to spiral, choosing to believe there's purpose even when circumstances make no sense. The dream emphasized that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the ability to walk through uncertainty with faith, clarity, and a steady heart. It pointed out how easily people get overwhelmed by headlines, rumors, and the noise of the world, forgetting that inner stability is far stronger than external chaos. The message insisted that the events of November 2025 shouldn't be met with panic, but with preparation of spirit, mind, and character. It reminded that every generation faces a moment where courage becomes the most valuable currency, and this time is no different. Courage means taking responsibility for your actions, your choices, your relationships, and your direction, even when the future is unclear. It means refusing to let fear dictate the type of person you become. The dream suggested that uncertain times are not meant to break people, but to reveal them, showing who stands firm, who rises, and who remembers that strength often grows in seasons of shaking, not comfort. The sixth keynote revolves around the final message of hope, the part of the dream that gently reminded that prophecy is not a sentence of fear, but an invitation to clarity, growth, and awakening. Even though the dream carried warnings and signs, there was an undeniable thread of reassurance woven through every moment, as if to say that change is not the enemy and the future is not something to hide from. The sense of hope didn't come through grand gestures or dramatic visions. It came through the quiet certainty that no matter how dark times appear, there is always a path forward for those who stay aware and grounded. The dream highlighted that the purpose of revelation is not to frighten people into worrying about what might come, but to wake them up to the strength they already possess. It emphasized that moments of global or personal shaking often serve as catalysts, opening doors to transformation that comfort would never produce. Hope appeared as a reminder that even in times of uncertainty, new opportunities arise for healing, unity, and deeper purpose. The message suggested that November 2025 isn't meant to be seen as a month of doom, but as a turning point where many will rediscover their faith, their resilience, and their calling. It hinted that light becomes more visible when darkness tries to grow, and that people often find their greatest breakthroughs in seasons they thought would break them. The dream made it clear that hope is not naive optimism. It's the understanding that challenges carry meaning, direction, and potential if approached with wisdom and courage. It reassured that no matter what events unfold, the human spirit is capable of rising, adapting, and emerging stronger, and that the real miracle is not the avoidance of difficulty, but the transformation that comes through it. The message behind this entire journey is simple. Everything shown in the dream, every warning, every moment of reflection, and even the unexpected confirmation that came afterward all point toward a deeper truth. We are living through a time where awareness matters, character matters, and courage matters more than ever. What's coming in November 2025 isn't meant to scare anyone. It's meant to prepare us, sharpen us, and remind us that the future belongs to those who stay awake in a world that keeps trying to put people to sleep. The dream wasn't just about events. It was about the kind of people we must become before those events arrive. It was a reminder that strength grows in the shadows, clarity comes in the quiet moments, and hope is never out of reach for those who choose to hold on to it. No matter how uncertain the road ahead seems, there is always a reason to stand tall, walk with purpose, and trust that every moment, good or challenging, is shaping us for something greater than we realize. If the message touched your heart, it's because it was meant to. And if it stirred something inside you, that's the sign that you are already being prepared for what's coming. Good luck on your journey forward. May you stay strong, stay aware, and stay true to the purpose planted inside you. And thank you sincerely for listening, for reflecting, and for giving your time to a message that was meant to find you today.